Hello everyone, how are you all doing? I hope you all are doing good. In today's video, we are going to start a new chapter that is useful and harmful microbes. So, useful microorganisms like lactobacilli, which helps us in the preparation of curd and all the other yogurt and other products, cheese. Then rhizobium, which helps certain plant to derive a lot of nitrogen, and yeast, which helps in baking so many food items, right? So let us start with lactobacilli first. Now these are rod shaped organisms. They are a kind of bacteria, correct? They are very minute and rectangular in shape. Or these are anaerobic bacteria. Anaerobic bacteria means they can produce they can produce energy without the use of oxygen. Means for living they do not require oxygen. Followed, students? Now, this lactobacilli converts the sugar lactose in the milk. Lactose is name of the sugar which is present in the milk, okay? This lactobacilli will convert this sugar of milk into lactic acid. Now, this particular process of converting lactose sugar into lactic acid is called as fermentation, which is done by lactobacilli. Now, because a lot of lactic acid is produced in the milk, the pH of milk will become acidic. Okay, and because the pH of milk become acidic, it leads to the coagulation of milk proteins. Coagulate means it comes together. All the protein of the milk will come together and watery substance will get separated. Followed, thus milk proteins are separated from other constituents of milk. Now this is what happens when milk changes into yogurt. And yogurt will have a specific sour taste because of lactic acid. Also, the low pH because of the lactic acid will destroy harmful microbes which are already present in the milk. So, curd will remain for a longer period of time, but the milk will not. Followed, students? Now, do you know that probiotic yogurt and other foodstuffs which are so popular nowadays, they are using microbes, useful microbes like lactobacilli. Why? Because these bacteria are good for your intestine and they will kill the harmful bacteria in your intestine. For example, Clostridium, correct? Also, these bacteria will help in improving the immunity of your body. Followed, students? So it has two work. What two work it does? Firstly, it kills harmful bacteria from our intestine, and second, it improves our immunity as well. Followed, students? So what are the uses of lactobacilli? Various milk products like yogurt, buttermilk is chas, okay, ghee, cheese, shrikhand, they can be obtained by fermentation of milk. Then second, lactobacilli fermentation is also very useful for large scale production of cider, the cider vinegar, okay, cocoa, pickles of vegetables, etc. Also, it is used to make wine and some types of bread. So, you should know the uses of bacteria very well. Followed, students? Lactobacilli and some other useful microbes taken together are used to treat abdominal discomfort like stomach ache, acidity, gas, anything. Then leavened fodder offered to domestic cattle like cows and buffalo is fermented with the help of lactobacilli so that it becomes easy for them to digest, for the animals to digest, and it will be very nutritive also for the animals, right? Next bacteria is rhizobium. Now this rod shaped organism, that is rhizobium, they are found on the root nodules of leguminous plants, legumes like pulses, okay. it is a symbiotic bacteria. Symbiotic bacteria means, see, it is present on the root nodules of plant, right? So it derives its nutrition from the plant, and also it is beneficial to the plant. This kind of association is called as symbiotic association, where both are benefited. The bacteria is also benefited and the plant is also benefited. Followed? The bacteria gets food from the plant and plant gets a lot of nitrogen from the bacteria. Followed? Now you can see in the diagram, the bacteroid is there, present in the conducting tissue of nodules, right? And the root nodules which are growing, this root hair which is infected with the bacteria, it will help the plant to derive a lot of nitrogen, right? It is mostly found in fenugreek, methi, right? Now, what is the role of rhizobium? Rhizobium is singular, rhizobia is plural for bacteria, okay? Rhizobia, which is living in root nodules, supply nitrates, nitrites and amino acids to that plant, and in exchange get energy in the form of carbohydrates from it. Now, such a mutually beneficial relationship is called as symbiosis, because both are benefited from each other. Rhizobia produce nitrogenous compounds from atmospheric nitrogen. However, for this process of nitrogen fixation, they need leguminous plants like beans, sweet pea, soya bean, etc. as host. Okay. Beans and pulses are rich in proteins due to the nitrogenous compounds made available by rhizobia. So, this rhizobium, which produces nitrogenous compounds using atmospheric nitrogen, this is only possible if it gets a host. Host means where the rhizobium can live. So where rhizobium can live, it can live in the root nodules of leguminous plants. So there it will make the plants very rich in protein. Because of the nitrogenous compounds it makes available to the plant. Followed? Now, after harvesting a leguminous crop, the leftover roots and other plant parts are deliberately dumped in farm soil so that you can maintain its bacterial population, because rhizobia are very good for the soil. So the use of rhizobium has helped to reduce the use of chemical fertilizers. Just the bacteria is doing the work, so there is no need for using man-made fertilizers, and thereby it reduces the adverse effects of the chemical fertilizers. Also, it has helped to reduce expenses on fertilizers, and thus it works to the benefit of farmers. So, two bacteria we finished, rhizobium and lactobacilli. One we are using in dairy products, and this we are using in agricultural lands. Followed, students? Nowadays, seeds are coated with rhizobial solution or powder before sowing. Just before you sow, you can cover the seeds with solution of rhizobium. Now, after sowing, rhizobia will enter the plantlets. Now, this is called as rhizobial inoculation. Inoculation means to put a small quantity of bacteria initially, then this bacteria will grow, okay, wherever you have placed it. Now, this experiment has helped in the supply of nitrogen to cereal and other crops besides the leguminous crops. Followed? Now, the third microorganism is yeast. Now, yeast is not a bacteria. Yeast is a fungi. It's a fungus. It's a unicellular eukaryotic organism. Okay. The previous two, rhizobium and lactobacilli, bacteria, they are prokaryotic. Means they do not have a nucleus. Whereas here, yeast has a prominent and clear nucleus. Followed, students? Now, whatever the oval cells you are seeing here, they are yeast. Now, some of these cells may have small round bodies attached to them. See here. Can you see? See these round bodies here. Right. So these are new daughter cells of yeast which are in the process of formation. See here. This one cell of yeast, and here this is the round body which is attached to it. So this is a new daughter cell. Okay. Now this method of reproduction is called as asexual reproduction. And this particular is called as a bud. What it is called as? Bud, because it is deriving from a parent cell. So this is called as a bud, and the process of asexual reproduction is called as budding. Followed? Now yeast is a heterotrophic fungal microbe. Heterotrophic means, see, trophic means nutrition. Hetero means different. So the yeast derives its nutrition from another organisms, means it cannot make its own food. Okay, and it's a fungi and it's a microorganism. Now it will grow on the carbon compounds. Also the yeast is a unicellular fungi with 1500 different species. Okay, all the yeast, they are having a eukaryotic type of cell. So what you need to remember about the yeast? Eukaryotic, unicellular, heterotrophic, and derives energy from carbon compounds. These 4 points you should know properly. Okay. Also the yeast will grow and multiply very quickly due to the carbon compounds in the sugar solution, because we say that it grows on carbon compounds. Followed? Now in the process of obtaining nutrition, the yeast cells will convert the carbohydrates in that solution into alcohol and carbon dioxide. What it will make? See, you should know this, that it will convert the carbohydrates, means sugar, into alcohol and carbon dioxide. Now this process is called as fermentation. What is this process called as? Fermentation. Followed, students? Now often alcohol is produced along with sugar in sugar factories. Molasses is produced from sugarcane juice. What are molasses? When you remove the sugarcane juice from the sugarcane, the remaining is called as molasses. Okay, it is rich in carbohydrates. Then this molasses is fermented with the help of yeast, which is called as Saccharomyces cerevisiae. And in this process, ethanol will be produced as a primary product, and ester and other alcohols as secondary products. Followed, students? Now bioremediation. A yeast which is called as Yerrovia lipolytica. It is also used to absorb toxins which are released due to the production of palm oil and the heavy metals and minerals which are released in some industrial processes. They can be removed by a yeast which is called as Yerrovia lipolytica. Also, Saccharomyces cerevisiae is also used for absorption of a pollutant which is called as arsenic. Then another microorganism which is Alcanivorax bacteria. It is also used to clear oil spills. Suppose oil spills in the ocean. So to clean them we need to have bacteria, because you cannot clean oil from any ocean. So we put bacterial inoculations over there. This is why it is called as bioremediation. Remediation means to treat something, okay, and bio means using living organisms. Followed? Thank you so much, students, for watching the video.